All right. Peace to my RBG family, to my African nation, globally. You know what I'm saying? And today's topic is real common sense solutions. Real common sense solutions. That's today's topic. And the reason why I named that topic is because we have to really um, we have to really be careful who we follow, who we listen to, and who we support. And sometimes those people give out wrong information and they try to make things complicated. Um, you know, I believe in my last video I had made a response video to this scumbag named Alquan, aka Elephant Man. And in his past two videos, he kind of was slick dissing me and stuff like that, and especially in my crew. And I realized that he's misleading people. I'm going to show you because right now I'm going to do a lot of most of this video is going to be a lot of screen sharing, so I want everybody to bear with me. And it's definitely this is definitely important. This is definitely important. So here we go. Now, as you can see, this is Alquan's GoFundMe account, right? And this clown is asking for $57,000. This is his goal, and he wants people to donate all this money for him. But when you read when you read his little information of, I guess, why he need this money, he don't give you a clear answer why he need that money. But most likely is that he asking for that money for his own personal use. A lot of the times people ask for these big donations is because, number one, they're not working. Number two, they're not trying to get educated so they can earn that money on a yearly salary. They probably live with their mama, you know. So this is the reason why usually that's the reason why people asking for this huge donation, because these are lazy people. These people don't want to put in work. And as you can see, if you look on his YouTube page, he makes hundreds of videos criticizing other people's work, and usually the people that he criticizes are scholars and doctors, people who got degrees, people who actually put in the field work, and just basically actually really educating the people, and just building. These people are actually building and saving lives spiritually. You see what I'm saying? So this is what he does, and he made hundreds of videos of doing this just to end up getting $352 at the end. So that should tell him something. As you can see, he lives in White Plains, New York. White Plains, New York. And that area is mostly with white Americans or European Americans that he's living with. But he promotes pro-Black America. That's his thing. He's not living in a Black American neighborhood. He lives, of course, he lives in a white American neighborhood. But he advocates, or he only focus on Black America. Because I know that area. I know White Plains. I'm living in New York. So I know of White Plains, and that's usually people, only ethnic group I know is Europeans. And this is the reason why you hear him on a video. Sometimes you hear him complain about white people grilling at him and, stalking him and all this other stuff. So, because of course he live in a white neighborhood. But he's also an ungrateful person. And reason why I say that is because he's the type of, people like that. And this is the reason why you got to be careful who you follow. You very got to be careful who you follow, because he has a habit of taking your money and turning it against you. He's like a backstabber, a hungry dog that if you don't feed a dog, that dog is going to turn on you. And he did this to our brother Talik. As you can see, our brother Talik supported this scumbag $50 towards his $57,000 that the scumbag is asking for. So our brother Talik donated $50,000 to him. So what did this piece of shit did? He made a video dissing him called The Big Payback, and talks about this man's features, talked about his ex-wife, and that's the appreciation that he gave this man. This is the ungratefulness that he did. This is where you got to be very careful who you follow and who you support and who you listen to. And I want people to understand reason. You got people out here that is just you got black people. I don't even know if the guy's black. I don't know if this Elquan character is black. I don't know if he's mulatto. I don't know. But you got agents that get on social media, because we live in this social media world, that are basically programmed to divide and conquer African people. And this is reason why I came up with this topic, because the scumbag came with this solution, but he came up with a video called Redundant Solutions. Because when he attacked our brother Talik, my brother Talik, he criticized him on his Mississippi campaign and other black people who had came up with really good solutions. And so he came up with this video called Redundant Solutions. He came up with this video called Redundant Solutions, which is funny to me. And so before that, he did a two-part video about solutions. This is a one-part video, and he did a second part video. And I'm going to play you his solution. I'm going to play you what he said about his solutions for, I guess, black folks or black Americans. Here we go.
Gotta stop being stupid. So the solution, like I said, education, leave the drugs and alcohol alone.
That was it. That's his solution. If that's not redundant, I don't know what is. That type of solution was around since my parents was in school. When they was in, I guess, high school. You know, when the whole drugs was around and during the 60s. You know, I remember when I was in school, they had the Say No to Drugs, you know. So that's it. That's his solution. I'm gonna play this one more time.
You don't need a preacher to read you the Bible, and they don't anyways. I mean, people got to stop being stupid. That's all I gotta say. Gotta stop being stupid. So the solution, like I said, education, leave the drugs and alcohol alone.
That's the solution. That's old redundant solution. Get educated and leave the drugs and alcohol alone. That's it. That's the solution. Again, it's very redundant. And as you can see, this is what he said in his little GoFundMe, his long ass GoFundMe bio, a reason why he needs the $57,000. And this is what he said. We believe that as a foundation, blacks must. He just say blacks in general. He didn't say black Americans. He didn't say black Americans. He said blacks. That could be black Caribbeans. That could be black Africans. But this is what he said. He said blacks. Very general. Blacks must be educated. And he said it again. We must leave drugs alone. Drugs. And he said, yes, weed too. Right? Drugs, including weed. Wow. Now, everybody knows that marijuana is a medical use. Now, well, let's go back. First of all, this scumbag, Elquan, aka Elephant Man, he don't like Africa. He hates Africa. He claims that he's native to this land, which is called North America, this continent that's called North America. And I always thought, and I always thought he knew that marijuana is nothing new. It's been around since centuries. And we already know that Native Indians used to smoke a lot of marijuana. Of course, they probably call it the peace pipe. You know, after they eat a meal, they just pass around the pipe and relax, chill, whatever the case is. So this is nothing new. But he said weed too. He said we got to get rid of the drugs and weed too. But it's obvious that no one have died or have caught an overdose smoking pure marijuana. It's funny that he said weed, but he never said cigarettes. That's known to kill people. I know there's been a lot of people who've died smoking the cancer sticks. Tobacco is a huge problem, and that is a drug. So I'm assuming that he's probably a cigarette smoker. That's the reason why he didn't put that in his little small bio. But he wants to talk about weed. No one had died smoking weed. If anything, it's a medical use. It's obvious he's not educated of the of medical marijuana. There's a lot of benefits of smoking marijuana. And if you read here, they'll tell you the benefits. So, you know, there's nothing wrong smoking weed. If it's pure, it's definitely nothing wrong with it. There's no you didn't find any serious cases where people have died or OD'd smoking weed. But you have heard of other. You've heard sick people smoking cigarettes. People have gotten lung cancer. People have got holes in their neck. All types of craziness smoking cigarettes. So that's a problem. But getting back to this, the drugs thing, I noticed he never told you what type of drugs. Is he talking about street drugs, or is he talking about pharmaceutical drugs that people rely on? You got a lot of elder people rely on pharmaceutical drugs or over-the-counter drugs. You got children that needs certain drugs like vitamin C pills, vitamin A, vitamin D. You got protein pills. You got pills for calcium. You got all pills for all types of stuff. And healthy pills on top of that. Also, you got pills that people that need it for high blood pressure or cholesterol. So when you say leave the drugs alone, which drugs you're talking about? So he's not making nothing clear. He just want to keep it. These are coming from someone who's very uneducated. Because what intelligent person talks like this? It doesn't make any sense. So we have to stay away from scumbags or just selfish and ungrateful and very uneducated people, and don't practice what they preach. So I want to get into real common sense solutions. And one of my solutions is we have to study wildlife. We have to see how animals operate. You look at the wildlife, you see elephants, they stick together. You see the lions, they stick together. You don't see no homosexuality in the wildlife. You don't see intermating in the wildlife. And we can learn as people. We can learn and observe the wildlife. Just by watching National Geographics. Just like people, when you see how Asians, how they operate, you see how they come together, and this is the reason why they form a Chinatown. You've seen how Europeans, the Italians, how they come together and how they form Little Italy. See, I was watching The Sopranos, and it was so crazy watching. It was so crazy because Tony Soprano and his friends went to Italy, and they didn't speak. Of course, they're Italian Americans, and they didn't speak Italian. They didn't speak one lick of Italian. They needed somebody to help translate the language. But they went to Italy because they said Italy was their motherland. And I said, wow. And these people, they don't really, they probably, they went to visit. They didn't go there to live or nothing like that. They didn't have relatives there. Of course, they went to Italy to do business, but they didn't live in Italy. But they didn't even speak the language. But they knew that Italy, these Italians, like Tony Soprano and his little Italian buddies, they knew that Italy was the motherland of who they are as a people. So Black folks, African people, we have to understand African people in America and in the Caribbean and in South Africa, South America, has to realize that Africa is our motherland. And there's nothing wrong of saying that. Asians do it. They know Asia. You got the Chinese. They know. You ask the Chinese, they'll tell you Asia is their motherland. Ask any European man. They know that Europe is their motherland. So we have to learn from other ethnic groups. We can learn from that. Learn how they come together and operate as a people. So one of the solutions is, which is common sense, is observation. We got to learn from the wildlife, and we got to learn from looking at other ethnic groups of people and see how they operate. That's one. Once we do that, then we can start having economic power. As you can see, it's a picture I have with this building. Is what you call the Freedmen's Bank that was created in the 1800s. And Black people in America, African people in America, put their money together and generated almost $60 million. $60 million. Of course, white supremacy kicked in and destroyed that. They destroyed that. Same thing with Black Wall Street. Black people came. We had Black Wall Street. We had our own buses. We had our own cab companies, bus companies, sports leagues, and all that stuff. White supremacy destroyed that. So we can learn from our past. That's another solution, that let's learn from our past and perfect it. We have to create a defense mechanism so we won't have history repeat itself again. But so we need to stop supporting these churches. And I always say, if Black people can take their 10% and put it in a church, why don't you take that 10% and put it in a Black-owned bank? There's a black-owned bank here in New York called the Carver Federal Savings Bank. And this was named after George Washington Carver. This bank was created in I believe in 1940s, and it's still standing. So we have a black-owned bank. We have a black-owned bank. So this is what we need. We need to come together and put our money into this black-owned bank that still exists to this day. And by the way, this bank was created in Harlem, New York. Now it's in Brooklyn, and now we can have something to work with. And that could create more branches and more jobs for black people. And not only that, banks also create or can finance other black-owned businesses. So we have a gold mine, and so we have a gold mine here. So another solution, another real common sense solution is support. Support our own. Just like Asian people support their own businesses, Europeans support their own businesses. So as African people, we can support our own businesses. So if you have a Carver Federal Savings Bank, support it. Take your money out of these Asian banks, these European banks, and put it in your bank. This is your bank, a black-owned bank. So that's another solution, is support each other. We have to support each other. Okay? So let's see here. Just want to I noticed I was wondering, like, where's our cars? You know, where's our automobiles? We was the first people, our people created the first car called the Patterson Greenfield automobile. We don't even have our own car in America. You have all these cars, you have all these European cars, these Asian cars, but where's the African cars? How come we don't invest that? And I'm talking about the black people that has money, the millionaires, that they can invest to import cars in America. Where's our car company? Where's our cars? You know? So that's another solution, that common sense solution is investing. We have to start investing our own, investing in our people, man. We got to start investing in our own people, you know. And if you look at Africa, Africa got cars too, and better cars. I'm gonna show you. These cars called the Kentucky. Look how nice they are. And as you can see, it's from Ghana. So Ghana got their own automobiles. And guess what else? If you look, Uganda, called the Kira, have their own automobiles. And look how beautiful it is. Beautiful. So we got to start investing in our cars. We have to start having a connection to Africa and work with them so we can import our cars in America and let people know that, hey, we have a connection with our motherland. Because it's not fair that every race of people, like Korea, the Japanese and the Koreans and the Germans, they always import their cars in America, but we can't do that. We can't have no connection with Uganda and Ghana and import their cars over here and drive the black man cars. I don't understand that. But black people have no problem driving Japanese cars. How many black people you know that have a Toyota or a Honda? Okay, they black people who drive these. They have no problem driving Japanese cars. So we have to start investing, and that's one of what you call a real common sense solution is investing in our people. We have to do that. We have to invest in our people. Okay? We have to invest in our people. I don't know anybody that is familiar with the story of the little red hen. I don't know if anybody is familiar with the story of the little red hen. Because the reason why I brought this up, because you got black people like the scumbag that I mentioned earlier. They always talk about, why don't you do this? And why don't you start this? And why don't you, it's always you or I. It's never about we. And a lot of people, and you got some people who like to divide and conquer, always wants to talk about, they don't like the word we. They always say, well, why don't you start this? And I said, and my thing is like this: if I got to start everything, then I don't need my people. If I got to start doing everything, then why do I need my people for? Now, everybody grew up reading about this classic story called The Little Red Hen. I'm surprised that we haven't learned from these stories yet. I'm very surprised that no one had learned from The Little Red Hen. Now, anybody who's familiar with the story is where the red hen found some grain of wheat, right? So she needed some help to plant the grain and everything. So because her goal was to make, what was her goal? The goal was to make cornbread, and she needed some help. So of course she asked the pig, the cat, the rat, the dog, the goose, the dog, the goat. And they all refused to help her. Right? Then when it came down to baking, she asked the same crew, right? And they still refused. They didn't want to do it. They didn't want to do it. So after the cornbread was made, this is what she did. She asked the pig, the same crew, the pig, the cat, the rat, the duck, the goose, the dog, and the goat, same crew, she asked them who wants to help her eat the cornbread. And they all was like, yeah, I'm down. They all volunteered. And you know what she said? She said, sorry, but you're not eating this cornbread. Not because I have done all the work. When I asked you to help, you didn't want to help. So she ate it was her and her. So when she took the cornbread, she ate it. Her and her kids ate the cornbread. And she left them selfish bastards hungry. So I'm like that. I'm like this. If I got to do all the work, I'm not helping my people if I got to do all the work by myself. And the only thing they could just do is just freeload. It's just common sense. So we need to put we into building. We need that. We can't be selfish and let other people just start it off, and we'll just once you start off, we'll just come when after the work get finished. So we have to. So it's obvious none of them learn It's obvious some of us hasn't learned from this book, this storytelling book. Also, too, we have to really study the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. We have not learned it. We have not mastered it. And one of the principles that I like the most is Ujima, which is collective work and responsibility. Collective work and responsibility. It's a collective thing. We're people. That means we have to come together and all of us have to be responsible. This is not just a one person job. So we have to study these principles. So in other words, let's learn from these stories. Let's learn from our past. Let's learn from our past. Let's learn the 7 principles of Kwanzaa. And these are simple solutions. Let's learn from our past. Let's learn from the wildlife. One thing about science, one thing about comedic science, one of the things that we can learn from comedic science is observation. This is the reason why we're scientists. We're not religious people. We're scientists. We can take what we learned or take what we've done in the past and perfect it. And we can't make things complicated. Now, and this is the reason what bothers me about our people. We make things too complicated. Too complicated. I'm just and that's our downfall. We got to stop doing that. So I got my peoples on here. I got my brother Craig and Maurice. Thank you for coming on board. Craig, do you want to add anything? What do you think about what I've said so far? Maurice, what do you think what I said so far?
Yes, sir.
So far, what do you think I said? What is as far as the real common sense solutions? What I said so far. What is? Do you want to add anything? Do you want to what is your take on that?
Okay, yes. I'm
I'm
bad echo
Oh,
background, but yes, indeed. For the last couple of days, I've been going through some stuff, so that's why I haven't been speaking a lot. But
that's all
yes,
right.
I believe that we definitely need to come together as a collective, unit. Just like you said, I mean, we could study like some of our solutions because Negroes want to talk about, getting these European education, but want to diss Africa. Like Negroes who are living in all white communities, got so much negativity to spew about, Jamaicans, Haitians, people from the Caribbean, people from the motherland, the mother continent of Africa. But see, the thing that, the way I look at this and my perspective on this issue is that, like you say, we all need to come together as a collective unit, just like the story about the little red hen, baking the cornbread.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we had all of these other animals that didn't want to, help her, gather the wheat,
Mm-hmm.
want to help her in the kitchen,
Yep.
fixing the cornbread. But when it was time to eat, they all had their hand out.
Yep.
So what I'm saying, just man, you said some very powerful things, and yeah, man, I was just sitting back, enjoying the show because you really broke it down. Because like you say, all of these foreign cars, like, for the black man, the descendant of slave born in America, shit, the majority of us, including myself, I'm riding around like in a European vehicle. I've never had a, Japanese made car, but,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I own a European vehicle. So at the same time, like we say, we have to try to invest money
Yep.
on people. So that should be the main goal.
Mm-hmm.
Investing money in our own people, waking up the people to give them the proper education of knowledge of self.
Yes.
Because a lot of our people, are ignorant. They have been indoctrinated through the, European public schooling system, and they have not been taught knowledge of self.
Yes.
So therefore, what I'm saying is our job, it's our job as elders to put the message out here, to bring forth, um, the proper information and, bring it to the people. So what we got to do, man, I got to say, this is a very, good build. And, I'm really glad to, be able to take part in this discussion. But, yes, indeed. This is what we have to do. That story about the little red hen is something like you say, from all of these nursery rhymes, we should have learned something about them from the moral.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
This is how black people are. They don't want to help, sift the flour. They don't want to help bake the cake.
Yep.
As soon as the cake is baked, they got their hand out, and they're the first ones at the dinner table with a napkin wrapped around their neck.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Want us to do all the work. But yes, indeed, my good brother Maurice is on here, and as soon as you finish your presentation, I'm, hopefully, we can go into the second discussion.
Mm-hmm.
So brother Maurice, if brother Maurice has anything to add, he can concerning this topic about solutions, he can go ahead and step forward.
I know he got his mic off. I don't know if he can hear me.
Else that you want to bring to the to your presentation, then go ahead. Other than that, we'll see. We will be back with our other discussion coming up next. So stay tuned.
Maurice, how you doing, brother?
Peace and blessings, big brothers. How y'all doing?
I don't know if you I don't know if you've been watching, but I was talking about real common sense solutions. Did you pick up anything that I said so far, or?
Yes, sir, I did. And you know, it was very the little red hen um, nursery rhyme thing was right on point because that's exactly where we are. You know, we all like cars, and the cars that you showed that were made in the motherland by us for us, you know, we should have access to it so that we can drive their cars. You
Exactly.
know, it
Hmm.
makes it better. Cause like me, I like Cadillac, so that's the only thing I buy. I don't buy anything else but that. But now you give me an option where I can buy a car that's made from our people. I buy that because what you showed looked just as good as what I'm driving.
Hmm.
So you know, it was important that our people realize that we are producing things.
Exactly.
You
Hmm.
know, because that makes a big difference when you can realize, oh shit, you know, that's a African made car. Let me get it.
Hmm.
You know, they got the Korean made cars here. We need to have our made cars here so we
Exactly.
can drive our made car.
Yep.
You know, and that makes so much sense, and it's the right thing to do. But the enemy want to keep us, you know, divided and blocked off of knowledge. They don't want us to know that we can make our own cars. They
Hmm.
don't want us to know that we are the ones who made the first car.
Yep.
They don't
Hmm.
want us to know that. They want us to know that the only thing we knew about is jigaboo this and jigaboo that and a goddamn bone in our nose
Uh-huh.
running around being uncivilized. And here we are. We the ones that gave you the dynamics on every damn thing you got.
Hmm.
So it's a excellent presentation of what you showed us. And you know, I'm definitely going to share it as well because our people need to be able to see our greatness. They need to be able to see our greatness. We are builders. Our hands can build for ourselves. Our brains can think for ourselves. Don't need that fucking cracker. So excellent, big brother. Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Uh, so I just want to say to the people before I end this video is because I want to live in a world, and I know a lot of Black people want to live in a world, African people want to live in this world where we want to live in a world where it's safe, productive, where we can live in a world where learn from the past, where we can live our door opens, and we don't have to worry about people robbing us. Where we can enjoy seeing our children play on the sidewalks. You know, we need to bring more marriages, more African love, and more embracing our heritage, like we used to do.
That's right.
So our past is golden to us. Let's learn from it and let's perfect it. We have the resources. We have it. So this is the reason why I had to put this video together, called Real Common Sense Solutions. And these are simple solutions. Observation, of support, and investing. That's it. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Because we have to be productive. And once we show that we are masters of what we do, we can take care of the little things. And like I said before, I'm not that old getting education and stop doing drugs. That's old, redundant bullshit.
That's
We
right.
know that already. So nobody we already know what a wino looks like. We know what a damn crackhead looks like. We're not trying to be that shit. So let's let's talk about what we did in the past and let's perfect it. I already showed you the Carver's Bank. Let's put our money into that. Let's take our money out of these European banks and these European and these Asian banks, and let's support our own people. Let's invest in our own people. Okay, because that's important. So I'm going to end it on this note. Craig, any last words?
Okay, good video, bro. And once you end the video, I need to discuss something real quick. So so don't like just leave the call.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, because we're supposed to be doing another quick video. So
No problem.
yeah, man,
All right.
keep, you know, staying true to your roots. You know, keep spreading the information because the people need it.
Mm-hmm.
Our people are in a lost, sunken place, man. We're at a point of no return. If we look at our history and you know what we have been through as a people, man, it's a beautiful thing to see, you know, brothers and sisters, you know, congregate amongst each other and you know, share ideas and information. So let's just continue. You know, let's continue to put the information out, man, because like we always say, if you just change one life, you know, you can change the entire nation by changing one person.
That's true. You're right. That's so true. So we're gonna end it on this note. And I hope my viewers can check out this video and maybe, like I said, just use it. Just use it. Just use this information